The horror of that ocean spits onto our land, he'll say between shaky breath as he watches bug-eyed.
She'll
That's
kind of
a
reel her head with like whatever like lingering energy is sort of pulled from the woman's lips and into her own, and then she'll kind of look over with like a darted feral animal look toward the other corpse.
that's a lore
Sure.
for me on
Yeah.
witnessing, beholding the pale lady, if that's a thing.
Yeah, I think so. In terms of what do you think a one would get him, Mac?
Oh, certainly the stories. She's been around for a long time.
Okay. Pale lady, kind of the offer, the lady of sleep, some call her. One who offers an alternative to the endless ocean and the afterlife that it promises. Reviled by some, honored by others.
Siren.
He speaks for the first time this encounter.
Nice. The words kind of find their way to you.
Yeah, she is very focused on that other body right now, and doesn't immediately seem to register that she's being spoken to.
Okay. You end your turn here?
Oh,
Okay. It's getting a bit tight. I'll also say that if all areas in a square are filled, no more enemies can enter that zone.
get them all in
Um,
here. Bring
yeah,
them in.
and
Everyone from every universe comes in.
there will be situations where I block out numbers of squares too. So like
Uh,
one square might only have like 3 slots available.
do bodies count?
Yeah.
All right, I'm just gonna fill the room with bodies.
No, that becomes the meta strat. All right, we took bodies with us. Fill the square so that no enemies can get in close range.
Remove
Make a pile.
body.
Make a pile.
Create a kill square. As the last remaining forces here do that, and this other guy books it to the shelter and concedes.
Oh!
No, 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 no.
He's
No,
out.
no, 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 no.
He looks over his shoulder and sees them disappear. Um, so let's see. I'm gonna put the living there, the dead here. There's still one left for you, Mac. As the two that you fled attempt to strike you again, three fight coming your way.
Alrighty. Here we go.
Okay, another 2 stress.
Took it.
They seem to kind of follow you in tandem. These people are practiced and have been working together for some time, you can assume, as one aims high and the other aims low and kind of catch you between the two of them. Crow?
Gonna leave her to that business. Going to yank Otto towards me in this dance that I do and try to
Yep.
sink the hook into, again, particularly his shoulder.
And
Gonna
you
use a
currently
free...
have... Yep, go
yep.
ahead. Yep.
Gonna use
got
my
it.
free invocation.
Okay. He has, I think, an athletics of 0, if I'm right. Let me check his stat sheet.
I hope so.
Athletics of 1.
Because I got a 7 before, and I'm really missing it.
I know, I'm sorry. I got to play the system. But that being said, you still do 3 damage to him, putting him 2 until he's gone.
So I yank him in
real-
close, and the hook sinks into his shoulder, eliciting blood, and Crow just like begins to tighten his grip on the man's collar with the rope wrapped around his forearm.
See, devil! He'll spit, and his actual, like, kind of spittle landing amongst your face as he tries to push himself away.
Have question for thou.
Uh,
The
he will actually... God.
No, the would be appropriate. I
Okay.
knew it, and I didn't say it.
Yeah, he will grunt and try to break himself free, but he's quickly losing blood. Acolytes will spawn next turn.
No!
Vermin consume this corpse. Get another +1, so they're currently at a +6 fight. And they will move. That'll be their turn.
Don't like it.
Otto will kind of look you square in the eye and say, "These questions of yours, I answer them, I get to walk away."
no.
Didn't think so. And he will try to shoot again with a 3. Okay. Boost, but I don't know. We'll see if that does anything. Pale lady?
She's considering her next course of action. She's kind of emitting this like clicking noise. And I want to try to get this guy to go stall the rats.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I know what stall the rats means.
Stall the rats.
know
We've
what
all
that
been there.
Listen, we
Keep
talk.
him busy.
Words are stronger than fists, he says.
Stall the rats.
Artillery has a will. Yeah, that's actually one of their decent stats. A will of 2 is what you're contesting.
Well, you either have to commit to it or go face the rats.
He is so focused on Crow, I think he would resist.
All right, let's blow him up.
It's a will of
Not
2.
with that roll. Holy
Nope.
shit.
Quiet yourself, sea witch, he shouts, focusing strictly on Crow.
I'm able to pilfer as well.
Yeah, you can pilfer.
Yes, and I will consume this final body for
Okay.
now.
Yeah.
And
So that puts you at what hunger? 2?
2.
Wow, not bad.
Yes, so feeling a little bit more myself.
Have you fucking eaten somebody?
You're not the same when you're hungry.
Yeah.
You're Joe Pesci until you eat a dead body and then you morph
Look,
back.
I'm not eating their body. I'm just consuming their very essence. It's very different. Yeah. So that is my turn.
Okay. Brigands, they're gonna come at you again, Mac. That's a 3 fight.
Go help your boss, losers.
Just gonna die.
Another stress.
Let's see here. Yeah, alright, I'll take it.
Okay. And just to remind you, you will take the hunger as immediate damage once this is over.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, cool. Crow?
So the boost on Crow is the guy's point blank, so he lifted his crossbow to fire at me. Crow put his meaty hand up over the end, so it began to engage, but like only the tip of the bolt is like stuck in his shaking hand as he holds his hand over the end of the thing.
Okay, yeah. And he'll just kind of like grunt, trying to push it deeper into your hand.
Crow will yank on it, and then also yank
Hold
on
on
the
a
hook in his
I'm wondering. No, he's going to go big. He's going to try to use it to attack you if he doesn't die this turn. Go ahead.
Okay. He's going to yank on the crossbow he's grabbing, yank on the hook for momentum, and just bashes a bare skull cap into the man's face a couple times.
Yeah, go for it. Athletics of 1. 2 will just do him in. It's exactly what you needed.
Oh, good, because he was saving the boost.
Yeah, he was going to shoot you point blank if he fucking could have.
So there's a wet cracking as Crow puts it. I don't kill him. Yep. I was planning to do with Brexton, I just put him on the ground.
Yeah.
I will leave the hook in him for future manipulation.
He's just looking up at you through a cracked nose and bloody teeth that he just kind of spits blood out and tries to clear his eyes, but he is completely on his back at this point.
If it's fine since he's subdued anyway, I would hook him into the mausoleum for storage for now.
Yeah, no problem. You are good to do so. And the acolytes are going to show up, but it's a bit too late. You actually did a pretty good job at this point. Further down the road, where you were, the Pale Lady, you see these kind of berobed figures searching over where you once were. Kind of passing their hands over your tracks and trying to get a sense of where you went. And you just kind of make these figures out in the far distance. It's rare for people to be out this late, but they are persistent, and they have found you.
Go No way.
Vermin are real close. Otto is gone. Pale Lady, these brigands are about to start fleeing. What do you do?
Um, I once again, I'm going to encourage this one to face the rats. He's gonna block the entrance. That's what
Okay.
he's gonna do.
Will of one, because he's surrounded by compatriots. Or one, to be saying. Yeah, guess
Whoa!
what? He's gonna go do that. Okay. You watch as this lone figure, kind of despite himself, sheaths his sword and marches up, his hands kind of out on either side of him. Meanwhile, this singular figure will pull on them and say, Stanley, what the hell are you doing? That's not. And then she will turn and recognize the song for what it is. Look at Stanley, shake his head, and run off in the opposite direction.
Yeah, I would also like to use my movement to be moving.
Sure,
I would
where
like to use my impede to impede that person leaving.
Which one?
Oh God, Mac, we finally have the players together. You're not gonna hole up in this mausoleum?
Oh, that's right. This counts as shelter.
Yes. A
Counts
pretty
as
good
plus
one.
4 shelter.
Better than
Yeah.
those boys.
As long as this is shelter, that's fine. I forgot.
Okay.
No,
Go ahead.
I assumed she'd be going in there. Crow is going to spin around and whip the. He's going to yank the bone spear out of Otto and whip the end of it into the throat of this person to try and prevent them leaving.
Let's see. They are.
I would like to forgo my next turn to give you a +1.
Hey, think of your own idea.
What?
If you do that, it will block him.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, fair enough. The brigand will attempt to flee and have no chance.
He has to he goes to move, but then the pale lady is in the way, huddled over the body, and maneuvering around her gives Crow plenty of time to line up a strike.
Okay, and seeing that he has one way forward, he's going to try and fight Crow with a +2. He's gonna give it his all.
Yes.
Oh my god, no. Okay, your turn, Crow.
Whatever knife he comes at Crow with, Crow spins around artfully, slaps it out of his hand. Hopefully, I'm going to get this kill.
God. +2 against a 2 fight.
Oh!
Yes, dead. Gone. Erased.
He will knock the weapon out of their hand for the boost, slap the hand out of being able to defend the assailant, and jam the head of the spear straight through the heart, which he will then wrench around and throw this body into the mausoleum, turn to the pale lady, and say, I've offered you feast. Join me and help. And then dodge into the mausoleum.
She will, Do I have time to suck on this last egg?
Oh, you will. He brought it into the mausoleum with you.
Oh, he brought it in. Yeah, great.
He threw it in. You're fucking fine. It's a
Yeah.
blind
I will follow. Gladly.
Okay.
Getting out of the way of the rats. She will kind of lift herself out of that feral stance she had taken and kind of glide alongside. Not alongside, but after.
Not a moment too soon either, because you watch as a +7 fight swarm of rats descend on what little remains here. And just from the little kind of window that is afforded to you, you just see the bodies disappear under a swarming mass of flesh. And there is the crunching of bones, the gnawing of teeth, and then there is just nothing as the kind of moving ground settles into place. And it tries to find new purchase, new meat, new people to eat.
Yeah, the dynamic shot of Crow leaping in and letting the pale lady in. It's him pressing the whole flat of his back against the stone door and grinding it closed as maybe squishing a few rats trying to make their way in. But he
Yep.
Seals it with whatever latch they put in these to keep the dead from getting out.
Yeah. Don't open, dead inside.
Don't dead open inside.
Don't tab. Yeah, there you go.
All right. And with that, both of you have achieved a shelter value, 4 for this top group, a 3 for the bottom group.
Time to die.
Time for rolls. So let's do this in order first. Mac, you had 1 hunger left.
Yep,
Take 1 physical stress. Does that push you into consequences?
it does.
Okay, you will take 1 consequence. Something about, like, do you have an idea for it?
Yeah, I'll probably just say a long time starved.
Yeah, like, it would be a mental consequence for sure. I think, just given the nature of who you are and what this food does to you.
Yep.
I think that makes more sense. Okay. Okay, let's do the top 2 first.
Don't like it.
Mac and Declan. Your physique challenge is a +4.
Love it.
Okay. 3.
All right. Oh, better than
Wow.
I thought.
Okay. All right. So Declan, you have 3 stress. You have to kind of place amongst your mental and physical, whichever one, however you want to break that up. Go ahead. Mac, you have 2 that you need to displace.
All right, that puts me into moderate.
Oh, sorry. So I want to make sure I explain this correctly.
Oh, right. I'm sorry.
it's-
The other stuff cleared.
Yep. It takes clear everything, clear your mental and physical. That checks either mental or physical stress boxes. Those do not refresh until your next night rest. So basically imagine that you lost those for the next day. You lose these stress boxes. And then just write down for your own elucidation what you did, just so you keep it in mind.
Great.
Okay. And then let's cut it back to Sean and Dave, who were very patient in this. I appreciate it. I wasn't sure if...
We're going back and forth.
As you kind of settle in for the night, your shelter is not as fortified as you wish. There are rats that kind of pour in through corners, kind of concealed by darkness and kind of missing your eye line. You weren't able to see these when you first took up residence. And a lot of your time throughout the night is spent stomping these creatures, both out of defense and offense when they finally do take kind of like a nick at your ear, your throat. It is a very long night in this mausoleum. So your challenge is a +5 physique.
All right.
So we roll this separately?
Yeah, each of you do it separately, and if you get a negative number, it's treated as a 0. Okay. So you have 4 to distribute. Both of you have 4 to distribute.
Okay.
All right.
And those take up stress, mental or physical. They do not refresh until your next night.
Okay, I guess that's a mild then for me.
Oh, so yeah, they don't cause consequences.
Oh, okay.
Basically, imagine you could like check if you have 4 stress, you could check a 3
A 3
mental
and
and
a
a 1
1.
physical, or however you want
I
to
guess
break
both.
that up.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want it to cause consequences. I just want it to be something that weakens you for the next day.
All right.
So just keep in mind what you checked and know that it won't refresh until I tell you guys. And with that, a very long night passes. For most of you, it is your first night on the Isle, but for some, it is just another in a long chain of miserable nights that seems to stretch on for days and weeks. And I'd like to give a little bit of time to each of your sets. So you both are held up in your respective mausoleums. Is there anything you would talk to, or is there anything you'd like to do in this time?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I think also, yeah.
Okay.
well, why don't we do them first? Because I feel like we
Sure.
just did a combat scene. So,
It's my birthday.
It is Declan's
Declan,
birthday.
shut
Not
terrible.
anymore for me. So.
Oh, yeah, actually here? Honestly,
Fuck!
you, Declan. I can finally
Fuck
say
you.
it. Jesus,
Okay.
fuck you.
You got to think about how it's gonna be. It's gonna be my birthday again, though. So at some point
Why
next
don't I know clock back and fucking? Why don't you want the fucking clock back and fucking forget about?
Stop.
What are you
Yeah.
talking about, huh?
29 isn't even an important birthday.
Yeah, you would know.
Yeah, 28. Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah, I turned 30 this year. That's the big one. Fucking old.
Okay.
Okay. Over it.
In the darkness of the mausoleum. Actually, it's probably not that dark. We do have a guy that can make fire, so I imagine we're actually probably pretty warm. We're okay.
Very
tonight, I
annoyingly,
think.
Rastavan goes to sleep and lights on fire, and Rakota's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I just won't sleep then."
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
I have a
Actually
nightlight
doesn't
at home.
matter, so no. It is dark.
That's true. We would suffocate probably, huh?
Yeah, it's a closed room. No, you're fine.
It's
There's
also
just-
very difficult to channel that kind of thing, and he wouldn't waste it on just making a fire for no reason.
Yeah.
And
Rakote
there's
peer
just-
pressures him into trying, and the Rakote is fucking scorched into the wall.
When someone opens the mausoleum, there's just a cooked fish on a dish sitting in there next to Rastavan.
Lemon wedge.
God, that smells delicious.
Wow.
What do you call this? Rakote. And then there's like,
What do you call this? I didn't get his name.
yeah, also good. Very good. One little detail I want to kind of put in here because I don't know if I'll ever fucking remember to do it again. The entire isle has basically been stripped of anything that could be burnt. Over the last 200 years, people have known that fire is the way to stay safe here. So the materials are very rare. If you think of all the greenery that might exist, it's gone, trodden on by people and rats. And a lot of the structures that still exist made out of wood are used exclusively for shelter. They are protected above even human life. To take or damage a home is tantamount to a capital crime. But that is all not here in the moment, as you are in a fairly stark mausoleum for the time being.
So during the sleepless night, Rakote will look to the only source of. I imagine there is probably a good amount of awkward. The two guys talking about the pizza, just silence. It's two have next to nothing in common. But Rakote will say, "I would ask you about the flames, but." First, I would like to know, how does one like you find his way to the Isle of Rats?
Oh, you burn the right ship, or you burn the wrong ship too many times, or the wrong
Which-
island, or the wrong guy.
What did you burn?
All of them.
Why?
What's your name?
Ricote.
Huh.
And you?
I'm Rastavan.
Rastavan.
Right. So, how did you get here?
Well, you haven't answered my question yet, but I suppose I became. Actually, Kane, I should ask you: do I know what happened, or
You are almost certain you know
yeah, okay.
exactly why you're here.
Gotcha. He'll say, I suppose my crime is I did not stay in the pond that I was destined to swim in.
Oh.
From small beginnings in Kane, the two little fishing hamlets. What are they called?
I'm sorry. What way?
You got
Fishing hamlets.
those two little fishing villages right in the middle of the map. Fishing islands, probably.
I don't know if you had established this in your background. I'm sorry. I feel like I would have known. Here's
Oh
the
no,
map, though.
I don't think that I entirely did yet, but wasn't there like two right in the middle? Am I wrong?
Yeah, those are like massive cities. There's Port of the Nameless and Parliament of Pleasure. Those are
No,
like
no. These were like was it Hunter's Keep and Yarrow, or were these the two?
sure. Let's go ahead and do that. Though that makes sense. Hunter's Keep is kind of a fishing hamlet.
Yeah. He'll say, from humble beginnings in Hunter's Keep, I started growing a business. I was a trader, running goods from island to island. And turns out I was very good at it. So good, in fact, the Tyburn Company took notice.
Oh.
They wanted to buy me out, but I didn't want to let them. And wouldn't you know it, suddenly, after I refused their offer, the entirety of my cargo bay was full of coffins. And then came the gold shirts, with all the proof they needed to put me here, without my business, or my ship, or any of my money.
Well, yeah, I guess that adds up. You didn't really take me for, a pickpocket.
No. But I suppose I'm very angry, Rastavan.
Me too. What are you angry about?
Well, what happened to me, and that I'm here, and my ship is still out there, without a captain.
Oh, you got a ship. Right. You got any other connections?
Very much so. Just about, let's see, how do I want to word this? So long as the sea washes upon their shores, I've been there, I've done business, and I know people.
Well, Rakote, I think maybe I misjudged you when we first met.
Maybe you did.
We gotta get off this island one way or another, and connections are useful. Even here. He's just gonna stomp a rat that gets too close.
No.
Rakote will move for his cane too slowly to swat at it, but seeing that you stomped it, he'll say, perhaps then, if we can help each other when we do get out of here and back to my ship, I can help you alleviate some of that anger, Rastavan.
Sounds pretty good to me. And he's going to lift the dead body of the rat between his hands, and he's going to place it sort of between his legs. And let's see if we can do this.
You're lighting on fire. It's a challenge of 0.
All right.
Let me see if I've still got the magic. Lights a dead rat on
You got
fire.
the touch. You got the power.
You got the power. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, with a 4 over, you tell me what happens, Sean.
The rat. You would think that it's like, it's a rat, haha, the fur, it's gonna light on fire, but the rat seems to alight from inside out.
Oh, I love it.
Oh.
And the fur's the last thing to light on fire, and it just becomes with a 4. This thing becomes like a blaze, and it's like if you were to light a bunch of spark powder or something at one point, where it just lights. It's not a strong, steady flame. It's just a massive burst that lasts for about 6 seconds, and then it dies down to these ashes.
Christ.
It's not something that he doesn't create a campfire. It's not soothing. It doesn't really provide anything other than a quick heat wave that scares a few more rats away.
Yeah, and just as quickly as they're gone, 5 more replace them.
Yeah.
We're not afraid of fire.
Well, he's going to shake the chain a little bit. He's going to go, first things first. I, much as we're new friends, I don't like being this close to anybody.
No. You will need both of your hands.
Well, that's going to be a lot more difficult, but at least, getting this chain off of you and I is going to be very beneficial.
We will call that the first order of business.
I'm going to look around for, I don't know, anything, literally anything to use to smash this stuff.
Okay, yeah, a smashing implement makes a bit more sense to me. Let's set
Is that a notice or is this a craft or?
I could see either, honestly. There's an argument for each.
I. Hmm. Could I? They would have made. They would have thought that. Well, actually, no. Maybe they wouldn't have thought. Specifically, the chain that is connecting me to Rakote.
Yeah.
Could I create an advantage, kind of like I did to open actually, I didn't create an advantage for that, but to know the mechanism that is locking the chain that connects me to him.
Easily. Yeah, I'll set that challenge at a 1.
Okay.
Whoa,
Holy shit.
no problem. Weak link. You know exactly where to strike. You got 2 uses in case this fails the first time.
Okay. That would be. Do you want me to still roll physique for that, or a?
Physique or burglary, you tell me.
I guess it'd make more sense for burglary because it is a mechanism.
Okay.
Either way, I can give you a +1 also.
Oh, nice. So burglary
Okay.
challenge is a 2.
My burglary is lower, but it makes more sense, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna add his
Oops.
1 and then add a 2 for the.
Pretty good odds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. And what's the challenge for the burglary?
2.
Okay.
So you need to get a 3 to succeed.
Fuck.
Oh,
Fuck off.
Shit.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Doesn't
Well-
initially work, at least.
Yeah, but that being said, since you rolled 2, I will give you another shot at it because it is a finite resource, and I'm very interested to see if you can make this work.
Okay.
So the first time you go about it, doesn't quite line up. You try to strike at the chain, but you see that it is fortified, and the way that you thought you needed to twist your shackles doesn't quite work. You're a bit wiser for it.
All right. I guess in that case, maybe I should just do a physique instead, and then add that to it. Like he gets fed up with trying to. I don't
Sure.
know.
Okay. Yeah.
I feel
If
like
you want to do
doing
that,
2 burglary after a burglary is a little unfair. In
I would
regards.
allow it since it's a resource that you're expending. But if you'd prefer to make it a little more cinematic, that's cool too.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. Physique challenge of 3.
you have the other boost, remember?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yep.
using.
And a
And-
+1.
Well, that was to burglary. Do you have a physique?
Yep.
that you
I can
add?
also help with physique.
Oh, okay. All right.
Mhm.
Challenge of 3. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, good.
Ooh, there we go.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
tell
at
me what
first
happens.
he's focusing on it, and this takes a lot out of him to do this because it's, he's working through these giant manacles that he's wearing, and these things are on his hands, and at one point he just gets fed up with it, and he curses in some odd tongue, and then just starts slamming this thing against whatever stone sarcophagus is here. And he starts kicking it with his foot, and eventually it just comes free. The chain slumps off. Oh, well, that'll do it.
Yeah, I think the first thing they both do is just reallocate themselves to personal space.
Yeah.
Ricote will say, "Very good. I think we've earned what little rest this night will permit us."
I agree. First thing in the morning, we got to figure a way to get out of here.
And he'll say, "Believe it or not, I've already got some ideas."
You seem
And
to have a way with people. Maybe we can gather up some idiots to, you know, get rid of some other idiots and perhaps keep moving and get a boat per something.
exactly along the lines of what I was thinking.
That's all I got.
Yeah, I think we can probably cut it on that.
Yeah. Meanwhile, a few 100 feet away, with the snarling of rats outside your doorstep, we rejoin both Crow and the Pale Lady. With a go ahead.
So I don't think she ate it yet. Are we able to offer that body as the mending treatment for the consequence she took for hunger?
It's
That feels like a
mental.
stunt.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a stunt. Otherwise, I really like the flavor of that. And if it was like I can, because even my last character had that where it could use a fate point to heal a mental or physical. I feel like it's way too tied up in a skill. So it mended
Which,
her hunger. That's good. But
which skill? Because these things can be kind of contextual. Without first aid as a main skill in Fate,
yeah,
the original consequence mending dialogue is about like sort of contextually going with what would be appropriate for mending a certain thing.
because what would a skill be that could help you absorb a soul? Like, what would you? You'd usually use music, right?
Yeah.
So what I would say is I'll increase the difficulty by 2 since it's still a self heal, but I'd allow you to use music if you want
Okay.
to do that.
All right. I'll give it a shot.
Yeah. So 4 challenge. If you get a 4, I'll even allow it. So 3 challenge.
Nope.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Yeah. You already good pizza. You had already kind of siphoned off the life force that this body provided, but and
Had
you
she already?
can't really make it. Oh wait, no, she hadn't. This was the fresh one.
That's why I'm offering
Either
it. It's fresh, and I technically rolled above a 2 to get this thing. Like, I killed them, and I brought it like it's my mending condition.
I I think it's good. It's just that allowed her to use the music. Otherwise, I wouldn't have allowed it. There was a challenge there, and I think I need to stick to it. Otherwise, she wouldn't have even gotten the chance to roll. If you didn't have the body, there wouldn't even been a chance to roll music to try and make this work because she still has to draw the soul out.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say no. You had your attempt, and if you want to use a fate point now, feel free. I would allow that, but this is it.
It's just my mild. I'll be all right for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Fuck. He steps in. The light shutting out. He will take a little sort of like Bloodborne pocket lantern out and hang it on something, and turn it on in a way like raise vents, which shines a sickly blue-green light into the room. He is going to point down to the body, and then at you. And begin to walk into the corner and start tying up Otto to a post.
She will do that animalistic thing of not being sure yet if, fully of your intent, but the body is coaxing enough, and she will kind of glide over to it, And as she has done to the others, she'll kind of pull it back by the collar, shuffling away a little bit from the light. And her melodic song will start to fill up the corner of the room. This sad melody that has no meaning but speaks to your soul as she draws this light that sort of starts at the base of this man's throat and rises until it lifts through his lips and passes into hers.
As it starts to come out, Crow, in a quick motion, the bone spear will flip into frame and between the lips, sort of threateningly, to catch your attention. Obviously, having done it on purpose, not surprised that you would go for the body. But he pauses you there and says,
"Thou helpest."
And he'll gesture towards Otto, not to do anything right now, but he'll say,
"Feed you. Help."
You're not stopping her from doing it, right? You're just speaking.
He kind of stopped you temporarily, like caught your attention, like, I got you this, but wait, here's the offer. But he'll start to slowly draw it away.
She'll say, kind of righting herself from this strange animalistic stance, she'll acknowledge you more as a person than she's been acknowledging these bodies thus far. A little less hungry than she was at the beginning of the night. And she'll say, "What do you need?"
Knowledge.
I can try, but many knowledge is lost on me, like a stone in the tide.
Not knowledge of thee.
And he will lift the bone spear and point it around to poise at Otto's chest. He'll say,
This one. You, Siren, can extract.
What do you seek?
Charlie McKay.
She will turn to God help me, what's his name?
Otto?
Otto.
Yeah, Otto. Yep.
I was about to say Charlie. That's not Charlie.
There he is.
Otto.
Charlie's trying to sneak out of the room.
Yeah.
She'll turn to Otto and say, "You have not told him."
Otto's bloody, mangled body is still kind of humped against the floor, but he will be kind of resting on his elbow, and he will shake his head and say, "No sense in talking to someone who's going to kill you. I'll go this way."
Yeah, the camera shifts back up to Crow, who sort of moves his head and shoulders in a way as if to point out the affirmation, making his point. And so he'll nod to you again.
She'll look down on the speared man, and she'll say, kind of standing more at her full height, which is taller than you would expect, "Do you fear dying? Are you afraid?"
Of hearing that a god-awful voice is yours, yeah, I am.
"I can offer you peace."
He will laugh a bit and say, I've heard the stories, witch. Whatever you call peace isn't something I need. It's a fool's story, believed by foolish people.
You will swim in the oceans of eternity forever.
Better there than here.
Then I cannot offer you this in exchange for the information he seeks. But I
What?
am in his debt.
Then go ahead and try, witch.
It will be much easier than the other way. And she is going to try to provoke him into speaking the knowledge
Yep.
on
On
Charlie.
Charlie? Yeah, I'm just gonna have this be basically treated as a provoke. His will is a 2, so go ahead and roll accordingly.
Dang.
Whoa, damn. Okay. Not bad. He will kind of groan against it. He'll try to even stop his ears, but his shoulders just badly hemorrhaged, so he can't really clog them up. And your song pours into him as you do so. 1 sec. Okay. In front, what does that look like as he kind of starts turning his attention to you, a bit more placable?
Yeah, it's kind of like he's been lulled into a defenseless state. Like he's just unable to, not really defenseless, more like calm. Like it's peaceful and he feels like giving this information will benefit him. Like it's just warm and comforting. It's not what he was expecting. It's not this terrible fight where he's, his mind is being torn apart. It's just very soothing.
Yeah. And his body will reflect that as it just kind of slowly lowers himself onto the stone floor. His eyes pointed upwards directly into the mausoleum and the little bit of starlight that filters through it. And between his parted lips, he will say, Herman's a simple man. He says what he wants and he pays you for the trouble. A week ago, he was looking for a man. That man turned up to be you. And he'll kind of turn his eyes towards Crow.
His head quirks to the side slightly.
Yeah. He will say, You asked for Charlie McKay. I don't know who that man is to anyone, but it is reason enough to break Arno's law.
Was that the law that I beheld
Yeah.
on the thing?
Yep, don't kill somebody. Coming after you, pretty direct violation of that.
Okay. Here we are.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I was looking for it.
Yeah.
And that was what Herman took issue with?
Herman basically told him to kill you despite these laws.
Oh. Crow will just kind of be stalking the periphery, almost as if he thinks he can't be seen. He is just stalking back and forth like a hyena. So he'll say,
Charlie McKay. Where?
I don't know. But Herman will. Never. Yeah. God.
At that, I think that is enough to seal it for Crow. He just upturns his head looks to the pale lady and strides across the mausoleum, grabs Otto by the collar, and is going to go to the door and push the mausoleum just open enough to shove his head out for the rats to feast on.
Oh my lord.
Oh my god.
Which is a deliberately brutal thing that I have mental justification for.
Yeah, he will be quiet for just a moment, and then snapped from the reverie of the siren song. He will scream for just a moment for his cut short. And his body will kind of spasm on this side, but just cease, tighten up, and go limp.
He will yank him back in, slam the thing closed, and then throw the body at the pale lady's feet. He will say,
Herman, Eibelstadt. We find. Feed you. Thou helpest.
and he really drifts between dialects. If I could remember like more slang to use, he'd be throwing in like weird idiosyncrasies, or what is it, anachronisms, and is obviously switching his other person pronouns between some ancient times and modern dialect. And he seems to have to like think every time he speaks, but the message is roughly clear. He offers to feed you for your help.
She'll look down at this this body with her hands kind of folded over each other. She won't go after this body. Say, I weep for his soul, but he did not want my service.
Admitted fear. Deserve the rats.
You are strange. Kind, in a way.
There's
Why
a
do you
notable
seek this
incline
person?
of crow's head at Kind.
Uh-huh.
You saw shit I just did.
The two freaks hanging out at the weird table
Yeah.
during lunch.
Yeah, Sean, we might have lucked out. You're like, are you normal? We're like, kinda. I mean, I'm a weird fish guy. You set shit on fire, but
Yeah, the fire guy and the fish guy.
He starts talking like Yoda. Rats there are.
Many rats there are.
You just fucking say whatever you want, don't you?
fucking shit.
Yeah,
Like
she
many
asked why you're
things,
looking for this person.
like many things, he just passes on some of the things that she's saying, the conversational fluff, and just kind of looks to the side when you ask about why he needs Charlie McKay, and he just says,
Kill.
For what purpose?
his head snaps back to you, and he'll like step a few steps closer and try to loom over you. Based on how tall she is, she might be taller, because once again, I'm playing a modest 5'10" king. 5'11".
Yeah, her body's been stretched by the bends. She's a tall woman.
I was stretched by puberty.
Huh. Well,
But if she is sitting for the time being, he stands over her, trying to be imposing, and just says,
Thou must feed. Not question.
he'll gesture his spear around to the several bodies that are littering just this room, and he'll say,
Much of this. Thou will feast. Help.
I came to this island to feed, yes, because I was hungry. I am no longer hungry. Normally, I do not feed so reckless. I need to leave. I also cannot leave the way I came. I will help if you will help me leave this island. There are people looking for me here. They are not normally so adamant.
Have to leave when finished. With Charlie. Find others on the list. Will leave when done.
Very well. Then I will help.
He calms down out of the tizzy that was immediately whipping up when things weren't going the way he expected, and just goes and sits down back in his corner from before.
Yeah, she will be seen kind of doing some sort of strange last rites, like last sea rites, to the only body that she did not consume, the only one who refused her, had the chance to refuse her. And she will spend some time at that point just singing through the night for.
I think so as not to cut her off. She'll have to commence it after I now remember he will quickly search the body for some jerky or whatever rations Otto decided to keep on him for survival, and retreat with those to his corner of the room.
Yes.
You know what? Let's give you something for that. I am going to give you, Declan, one dose of opium. I'm
Nice.
going to work out the mechanics of that because it's actually something that I think could have some pretty big ramifications like throughout the story. So let me get back to you on that, but you'll come away with like kind of a milky vial that just seems kind of like translucent in the night.
Crow will weigh that in hand, shake it, and examine it. And he briefly considers taking off the top, but weighs its value as currency here and puts it away.
Okay.
And yeah, the rest of the night she's kind of weeping in song over the mourning the loss of a soul that's stuck at sea.
Jesus. Jesus Christ. Okay. That song carries on the wind, just barely louder than the sound of the rats, and kind of deposits itself in the neighboring mausoleum where both Rakote and Rostavan are waiting out the night as well. In Rakote, that song will just kind of like fall on your brow and kind of push you into a night's sleep. And we will have that kind of be the quiet thing as this song carries out, and the night sky turns purple, then orange, and finally a brilliant blue as day descends and the nights return to their holes. And we'll pick up next week.
Excellent.
Ooh. We did it. Episode 1.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Fair.